Hello everyone, we are Group 13. Myself Ashvi, along with my teammates Rudra Trivedi, Hardi Surani, Sejal Patil, Pratmesh Bodalia, and Harshil Parekh. Here we are presenting a PPT on Unusual Billionaires by Sir Saurabh Mukherjee. Rudra, please change the slide. This slide explains the twin filter work, a method used to identify companies with strong and suitable performance. It is based on two key frames. First, growth. The company should have sales growth more than 10% annually. This ensures the business is not just surviving but constantly expanding and gaining market share, rather than simply benefiting from overall economic growth. Second, returns. The company must generate returns on capital employed or ROCE about 15%. This shows that the growth is profitable and not just companies creating value beyond its cost of capital. When both of these factors combine, we get companies that deliver consistent growth along with high values. Additionally, this framework tests the company over a 10 years period of time, ensuring they perform well across both up cycles and down cycles. This helps the filter out the companies that succeed only temporarily. So the key idea here is true long term winners are those that grow consistently and generate strong return over time. Rudra, can you please change the slide? Market strategy. Now, moving on this idea, companies today don't just sell products, they control the entire customer experience. Take Astral Poly, for example. Instead of targeting end customers, they directly focused on plumbers who are the real decision makers. By training them, they build trust, influence at a very ground level. Asian Paints took the step further ahead by turning dealers into one-step solution providers. Customers don't only just buy products, they buy conclusion, services, and trust along in one place. This helps Asian Paint control the final customer experience. Page Industry again shows a smart thinking by removing the wholesalers and using a distributor lead model. This ensures a better control over pricing, branding, and retail experience. The key takeaway here is control the ecosystem, not just the product. Rudra, please change the slide. Win where it matters. The core idea here is simple. Great companies don't try to win everywhere once. Instead, they clearly define their battlefield and dominate one core segment before expanding. For example, Page Industry focused strongly on its brand Jockey. Instead of launching multiple brands, it built a deep strength in one and then expanded step by step from menswear to womenswear and to kids. This shows the power of focus over distraction. Similarly, Marico follows a disciplined approach, protect leaders, extend winners, and exit all the expenses. This means they invest more in products that are already doing well and cut off a weak ones. The sharps focus help them to use resources efficiently. HDFC Bank also demonstrate this strategy through a phased expansion. Instead of growing aggressively everywhere, they expand cities by cities. This reduces their risk and ensures strong control over the operations. Takeaway here is focus first, dominate your core, and then expand wisely. Thank you. Now I hand over to Hardi.
Good morning, myself Franti. So today I'll be presenting on the topic challenges as opportunities. These two slides explain how some of the India's most successful companies faced major business challenges and instead of being held back by them, they converted them into opportunities for a long-term growth and competitive advantage. So let's begin with the first slide. The first company is Asian Paints. It faced several major challenges, including the paint import ban during the World War II, promoter level disagreement, and unsuccessful overseas expansion, which logged significant amount of capital for many years. Instead of continuing to invest in underperforming markets, the company made a strategic decision to uh, stop funding those geographies and focused on strengthening its core business. This helped Asian Paints to build a strong position in the Indian market and become the industry leader. Next is Berger Paints. The company struggled with the entrenched work culture, limited promoter capital, and overall capital constraints, which slowed their expansion. However, Berger gradually improved its operational efficiency, expanded its capacity over time, and strengthened its brand in the market. This shows that financial limitation can also encourage the companies to become uh, more disciplined and resilient. Moving on to Marico. After its demerger, the company faced capital shortages, fluctuations in the raw material supply, slow integration of overseas acquisitions, and intense competition from HUL's relaunch of Bihar. Instead of reducing its market's presence, Marico repositioned Parachute with the Shuddhata Ki Silk campaign and strengthened Saffola's health position and continued investing in brand building. This initiative helped the company maintain its leadership despite increasing competition. Page industries. They also face regulatory challenges due to fairer regulations and the risk of labor unrest. The company addressed these challenges by building an in-house, high retention workforce which ensured smooth operations, consistent product quality, and a long-term business stability. So overall, this slide shows that every challenge becomes an opportunity when companies respond with the right strategic decisions. Moving towards the next slide. This slide explains how companies manage large financial and economic shocks through effective risk management. Starting with Astral Poly, company initially struggled with the financial difficulties and the customers were not ready to accept the PVC pipes. So, financial difficulties like Madhapura Bank collapse, foreign exchange losses due to unhedged imports, and they even came close to bankruptcy. Instead of exiting the market, Astral focused on educating the plumbers and the consumers about the benefits of CPVC pipes while improving its financial strategy. This transformed a low awareness product into a successful and widely accepted category. Next is Axis Bank. The bank faced challenges such as aggressive corporate lending, higher NPAs, and a low CASA ratio. To reduce this risk, it shifted its focus from corporate lending to retail banking, improved its deposit mix, and strengthened its overall balance sheet. This strategic shift helped the bank become more stable and resilient. Lastly, HDFC Bank followed a different approach. Rather than taking excessive risk, it adopted conservative lending practices, limited exposure to risky borrowers, and carefully managed interest rate risk. Because of this disciplined strategy, HDFC Bank remained financially strong and successfully avoided the major asset quality issue faced by many other banks during the year 2008 or 9 which was a global financial crisis, and this helped all these companies to convert their challenges into opportunities. So, to conclude, these companies demonstrate that challenges do not necessarily lead to failure. Instead, when supported by strategic decisions, innovation, effective risk management, and a clear long-term vision, challenges can become opportunities that drive sustainable growth and create lasting competitive advantage. Thank you. Uh, that brings to end of my part. I'll now hand over to the Rudra to continue with the next section.
Thank you, Hardy. Hey everyone, I'm Rudra and today I'll be walking through guys the innovation process. First of all, let's understand innovation doesn't mean flashy ideas, genius move, or a huge breakthrough. Innovation is hidden that we as a customer are not able to see. It may be hidden in the brand itself, it may be the company itself, or it may be the process itself that the company uses to make products. First, if we talk about Asian Paints was the first in industry to use mainframes to forecast demand and control inventory, which on the other hand also helped them to control their costs and also move the capital to better allocated products. Now they also use computerized branching billing, which helped them to keep record reliably and efficiently. They also use GPS tracking in their logistics, which helped them to track if their product was able to reach efficiently to the distributor and customers. Now, if we talk about Berger Paints, they implemented ERP enterprise level systems which sharpened forecasting and distribution. They also use IT and automation which reduced cost and delivered consistent quality. Now, we as a customer look for consistent quality. They also increase the shades of their color from 125 shades to 5000 shades. That's nearly 48 more shades that a single customer can choose from. They also increase the marketing innovation to close the gap between them and Asian Paints. Marico also use granular product level management information system, which help them to forecast 1 year ahead of demand, which also help them to reallocate their working capital needs betterly. Astropoli use robotic truck loading, which drastically reduce the loading time. They also introduced lead-free PVC pipes, which was way ahead of its time. Moving to the next slide. Page industry, first of all, understand the customer themselves. Then they launch the product. First they understand the Indian market itself. What's the better Indian fit? What's the best fabric for the Indian consumer? Then they also, while also using technology from Jockey USA, they they brought out newer products which had newer technology. Uh, Now, if we talk about Astral Poly, they introduced PPVC for the first time in India, and it was a hit product. And it was able to happen due to global tie-ups with another company, and they were able to import that technology from another company. Merger Paints also moved up their value chain by introducing a premium line segment with products like Luxol Silk and Butterfly Enamel. They also gradually formulated and durably upgraded their products. Now, if we talk about Marico, they innovated in their manufacturing and packaging. Initially, their winning product, which was Parachute, usually came in a tin box, which was not leak-proof. But by just simply introducing a newer packaging, which is more durable and also cost-efficient for them, Parachute became a winning product for them. If we talk about Asian Paints and Berger Paints, they use service-led upgrades. For example, Asian Paints use computer to drastically cut tinting time, and Berger Paints introduced express painting solution which saved customer time. Moving to the next slide. If we talk about HDFC Bank, they choose process over flashy text. They were the first in 1990s to use the banking software Microbanker, which in later stages found out to be a truly a genius move. They also went into brokerage and clearinghousing business, which forced the broker to open bank accounts with HDFC itself, which brought out low cost driven deposits, which also indeed helped them to give out more loans to other people. They also solved the problem of check clearing at par nationwide and also launched PayZ app wallet. Now, if we talk about Axis Bank, they went into micromanaging and controlling their overall assets. They developed an operational app which handles the back end. They Then they linked accident insurance account to salaries account, which brought out sticky and high value customer for free. They also did not use third party operations. They made their in-house expertise team to have a better control of their assets. Now, moving towards the conclusion, to me, innovation isn't just about labs, patents, or big launches. It's something much simpler. Think about your own life. The people who really understand you don't ask what you want, they notice what frustrates you. That's what these companies try to do, and that's what helped them to capture the market. Thank you. Now I'll hand over slides to my friend Prathamesh.
Thank you, Rudra. We have now seen how these companies build their market strategy and innovated their way through challenges. The strategy and innovation only compound into lasting dominance if the customer actually trusts the name on the shelf. That is what my section, brand image. Across 3 slides, I'll walk you through how 7 different companies from paint cans to pipes to your bank account turn a functional product into a brand that actively people choose and in most cases never questioned again. Let's start with home and infrastructure, Asian Paints, Berger Paints, and Astral Poly. For Asian Paints, you also know that Asian Paints didn't stop building at one brand, it built an entire brand as an architecture. Batu and Utsav sit at the economy end, Apex and Royale at the premium end. So the parent company covers every price point a customer could walk in with instead of ceding the premium segment to a rival. They didn't just build it once and stop. They continuously advertised it consistently since 1950s, continuously refreshing the imagery to make each generation's changing profile while never losing the core recall of the brand itself. That is decades of uninterrupted quality of the brand. That is genuinely hard for anyone to catch up. For Bojo Paints, they have made very deliberate choice that we don't need to fight with Asian Paints on aspiration. We need to just fight it on trust and value. They position themselves as the reliable value for money choice rather than trying to be an aspirational leader. To build that recall fast, they used various famous personalities to connect with the audience and backed it up with very aggressive raising the advertisement spend year after year. It is a classic challenger playbook. You cannot out glamour the leader, you need out outrelate them instantly. Astral had the hardest job of three. CPVC pipes were a category that almost nobody understood. So before Astral could sell a brand, it had to teach the market what the product even was. They used very aggressive mass advertising in a low awareness category, timing the biggest push around 2004 election season when the TV viewership was at its highest, picking the best channels to maximize reach. On the ground, they used dummy models to explain what CPVC actually meant to the plumbers, everyday consumers, light cleared, high visibility ads across TV, buses, rickshaws. The founder himself went further, still traveling, showcasing the products at exhibition, personally engaging with real estate developers and dealers to build credibility one relationship at a time. That is a brand building at grassroots level, not just on a billboard. That is home infrastructure space. Now let's move on to FMCG retail, Marik and Page. Rudra, thank you, Rudra. Mariko build a long-term trust through consistently positioning that is parachute means purity, Saffola means health, and never let that message adrift. Backed by the heavy sustained ad spend over the decades, that trust compounded into a genuine category leadership. And crucially, Mariko didn't just protect the trust, it extended it by giving out products like masala oats, Saffola masala oats, Parachute Advance, new products launched and riding into decades of accumulated credibility. The result, you can also see Marico brands now commands roughly around 80% of the air oil shelf in the category. For Page Industries, Jockey's brand is built on deliberate positioning as an aspirational mid-premium using international imagery and Caucasian models to signal a global standard that is backed by high consistent ad spend, roughly 5% of the revenue every year, plus a strong events presence to keep the brand visible. In store, Jockey dominates. It displays occupy most of the shelf space in multi-brand outlets. Here's a deal. Here's a regal signal of confidence. A strict no discount policy, no sales, no bargaining. About 90% of sales at MRP, with only controlled discounting for rejects. When a brand refuses to discount and customers still buy, that's brand power, not just marketing spend. Now for the toughest category to brand financial services. Rudra, please, can you change the slide? Axis Bank carried a legacy problem. It started life as a UTI bank with the POC association baked into their name. In 2007, it exhibited as a full rebrand to Axis Bank, shedding that legacy and creating one single strong parent company all across its business. It then repositioned entirely around aspiration and progress with the name Badhti Ka Naam Zindagi campaign brought in by Deepika Padukone as a youth icon to connect with the next generation customers. Leaned hard into digital and social visibility, QR codes, Twitter to stay relevant against newer digital first competitions. HDFC, on the other hand, took almost the opposite route. It leveraged the HDFC parent brand early, despite some initial resistance to even use the name HDFC, and build its own standalone identity later. entirely through service and not celebrity. There was zero celebrity endorsements ever. Its first digital positioning was banking Akim reinforced that same promise, and while spending on the advertisement at the similar level to its peers, HDFC Bank achieved dramatically higher recall, enough to be ranked India's most valued brand without any glamour in the year 2014 and 15. So across these seven companies and three different industries, the mechanism changes. The brand pyramids, challenger positioning, grassroots education, trust flywheels, pricing discipline, full rebrands, service recall, but the outcome is identical. Each of them converted repeated discipline brand investment into a moth that is genuinely hard for a competitor to try. That exactly kind of durable compounding advantage this book keeps circling back to as a maker of its true greatness. That is my section. Over to Sejal.
Thank you, Prathamesh. We have seen how branding creates a company identity and strength its market position, but sustaining that success requires a strong management, strategic decision making, and the right organizational structure. Let's now look at how companies build their capabilities to achieve a sustainable growth. The first step is the foundation. Every strong building needs a strong base. Same with the company. HDFC Bank first focuses on a big trusted companies. This gives them a safe and cheap money to work with. They also spread their loans across the industry, so if one industry fail, they will still be safe. Axis Bank, at the same stage, made the internal team structure simple. They remove complicated layers and create a four clear goal to work together. Then we have step 2, retail expansion. Once the base was strong, they expanded slowly and smartly. HDFC Bank did not rush. They grew city to city. They also bought two other banks, Times Bank and Centurion Bank, to grow faster. They even enter rural area like Punjab and Kerala profitably. Then we have Axis Bank use existing corporate clients to also sell them personal loans. They expanded very fast by 2009. They had a highest number of ATM per branch in the industry. Then we have digital. At the top in the smartest part, staying the future ready. HDFC Bank lender visited Silicon Valley. This visit inspired them to change themselves digitally before competitors could challenge them. Axis Bank also focuses on giving equal good services to both rich and poor customer. This is called as service parity. Rudra, can we move to the second slide, please? Now let's talk about the crisis. No company can control the outside world, but a strong company survive it and even grow because of it. Here's are the example. Asian Paint. World War II banned paints import. This pushed them to start making paints locally in India. Then we have page industry. In 1973, a new law forced foreign companies to reduce their ownership to 40%. Some companies even left India for some time to protect their brand. Then we have Astral Poly. In 2001, a major earthquake in Gujarat and a bank collapse hit them hard. They still survived. Then in 2003 face a serious risk of shutting down and a cash flow freeze. They managed to survive this crisis too. Then we have HDFC Bank. During 2008 global financial crisis, most bank become scared and slow down. HDFC Bank did not opposite. They kept growing their loans. Then, this example shows that successful organizational did not simply react to the challenges, they used them as an opportunity to become a strong and more competitive. To my conclusion, in a very simple words, product may create success, but effective management ensure that success lasts. Now, thank you. I would like to hand it over to Harshil.
Yeah, thank you, Sejal. And I would say that there's a very famous quote by Warren Buffett that in a business he looks for economic castles protected by unbreakable moats. That is where our author Saurav Mukherjee sir has actually described the Indian businesses. Let's come to Asian Paints where they built one of the strongest moats in India through its supply chain and technology. Its nationwide manufacturing network enables faster deliveries and a lower inventory cost, while continuous investment in forecasting and logistics strengthen dealer relationship and improve customer service. Berger Paints focused on operational excellence and developing an all-India manufacturing network and investing heavily in R&D. This allows the company to innovate continuously while serving dealers efficiently across the country. Astral Poly built its leadership by locating plants close to demand centers, reducing delivery time, and becoming the first company to scale CPVC plumbing pipes in India. Its extensive dealer network further strengthens its market position. Rudra, next slide. Now let's come to the banking industry, where HDFC Bank moat comes from its transaction banking franchise, industry lending, leading CASA deposit, strong institutional governance, and deeper customer relationships. These advantages provide a stable source of low-cost funding. Whereas Axis Bank built a dominant liability franchise by targeting high float accounts like Indian Army and government departments, resulting in its highest current account per branch among the major banks. Rudra, next slide. So now comes that capital deployment. There's a very famous saying that exceptional business don't generate cash, they allocate it with discipline. So Asian Paint consistently allocated capital towards technology, manufacturing, expansion, and premium product offering instead of chasing short-term profits. This helped create them a long-term growth opportunities. Uh, the Berger Paint, where the focus was on expanding capacity, modernization of plants, strengthening distribution, and selectively acquiring specialized business such as Poland's leading EIFS company. Marico actually learned from earlier acquisition that aggressive expansion reduced return on capital. Since it has shifted to smaller strategic acquisition while using strong cash flow to fund new brands. Page Industry actually adopted an asset-light strategy about outsourcing non-core manufacturing while investing in garmenting technology and employee training. At the same time, it consistently rewarded shareholder through healthy dividend payout. The CPVC pipe leader, the Astral Poly invested steadily in manufacturing capacity while maintaining conservative leverage. Instead of expanding aggressively overseas, it focused on strengthening its core business and leveraging its dealer network to enter adjacent product categories. Rudra, next slide, please. So Astral Poly maintained a debt to equity ratio below one, which is conservative leverage cycle throughout the whole cycle. HDFC Bank actually promotes high performance quickly. They grants early responsibility and truly independent board guides governance. Rudra, next slide. So, to conclude the whole book summary, I would say the author would say that the journey of unusual billionaire proved that there is no fixed formula for success. Their achievements were driven by vision, innovation, resilience, and courage to challenge conventional thinking. Instead of following existing paths, they created new ones. Their stories inspire us to embrace opportunities, think differently, and create meaningful impact. Ultimately, true success comes not from being ordinary, but from having the confidence to be different. Thank you from my